morning, everyone, and a very warm greetings. It's today a privilege to stand here in front of all of you. And I'll start by respected Mr. Manoj Kumar, SEBI all the organizers, Mr. Narayan, Mr. Bhatt, Srimati Bhatt, Anuntraj, late Mr. Sundaresan, Mr. Srinivasan, and Mr. Chandrasekhar. It's an honor and a privilege to be here today. I think let me start, I had a speech when I thought, I'm going to change it because we are not used to talking in front of the regulator. Regulator has to talk first, then we are supposed to talk. So the format has changed. But the only difference is, so when Mr. Narayan came to give me the invite, I told him that in this invite, the order should be different. And I think what we concluded was, I think this is the new regulator where the vision of regulator, the advisors and the AMCs is all the same to increase the penetration of India and ensure every Indian household is a mutual fund investor. So the format does not make any difference because presently all of us have the same vision. I would like to also applaud rather let me, I think you gave, there was a long introduction given about me, but I think I'll give a different introduction, So I'm someone, irrespective of my title, whether as an AMFI chairman, whether as a CEO of a company, I started my career in mutual fund industry, being a relationship manager to IFAs, and IFAs and MFDs will remain special to me always. Rupa is sitting here. Rupa was one of the initial difficult people to deal with, But again, when I said difficult in a positive way, I think someone, along with all advisors, now I think still at heart, it comes out as IFA. Mr. Manoj Kumar has changed the IFA to MFD, but abhi bhi dil se kabhi IFA nikalta hai, but it's okay. If I say this, please don't take it any action against me, So I'm trying to use it in the same thing, but I firmly believe the growth of the mutual fund industry, whatever we are today, is the nation, the industry owes it to the MFDs and IFAs. And I would request each one of you to give an applause for yourself and other members who are not in the room. I think it's very heartening to see IFA Galaxy, MFD Galaxy, as we may call it, moving from a very small association to having almost 11,000 partners. And I use the word partners more than members because each one of you is playing a very big role in recreating the Indian financial services. It's not just about the mutual fund industry, but it is about making, as the Prime Minister's vision is to have an Atmanirbhar Bharat. I think today we are at a point where MFDs are making that happen. We are sitting in Chennai today, so I think it's very interesting to see a lot of members have come from smaller cities and towns, and I was just trying to look at some data. It's very interesting to see a lot of smaller locations in India, in South, Thrissur, Hubli, Kannur, are growing faster than Chennai. This is the real India where I think till now, as an industry, we used to also be, in the bigger cities and towns, but it's because of each one of you today, the mutual funds are reaching to each small city and town. It's very heartening to see today that every district of India, 97% of PIN codes of India have mutual fund investors. And that could not have happened because of the mutual fund companies, but it happens because of the MFDs. For me, the other way to look at this is, many times we try to see mutual fund is a financial product. I think there's another way to look at it. It's not about a financial product. It's about building a financial future. Every SIP is a parent's dream, is a child's education, it's family's security. And that is what each one of you are contributing to. It's not only the peace of mind. I think as we move towards, I think while we talked about, we keep hearing India will move to the third largest economy in the world. But one is the headline number. But the real freedom will come when every Indian household is financially independent. And for that, thanks to SEBI, a lot of rules and regulations which have come up, and thanks to MFDs, I think today that vision seems possible, and I will not be surprised if in next 10 years from now, we are in a position to say every Indian household is a mutual fund investor. I also take this, your profession, I use the word profession, similar to a doctor. Doctor takes care of lives, you take care of livelihoods. And it is not just about, purely a financial product. And I'm purposely trying to touch this point. It's not about just a doctor does a great job. A financial doctor does an even more important job, because just like a doctor does a diagnosis of the body, you are basically also doing the diagnosis and also helping the investor to sail through the most difficult times, which is the volatile times, and control the behavior. Because irrespective of whatever wealth the mutual fund industry has created, it could not be achieved if you were not hand-holding these investors. I really appreciate the theme, AI into EI is equal to GI. I would like to, comment only, everything is okay. I like to spend a little time on EI. And that is where each one of you play a very big role. While technology will give an access to investors to invest, technology will give data, but it is the EI or the EQ which is going to give the trust. And the fact that today mutual fund industry, whatever it has achieved, today the fact is that I'm serving my second term as an AMFI chairman. Exactly 10 years back, the size of the industry was 14 lakhs. Today it is 82 lakhs. Today we have almost 5.6 crore unique investors, 26 crore folios. We have 10 crore SIPs. We have 31,000 crores coming every month. But these are only numbers. Numbers do not actually give the real picture. Numbers show it's big. But what is behind these numbers is the trust. And trust, and why I'm trying to say is, trust that you helped that generate that trust. It is not going to come through technology. Data can be used. But trust is basically which comes with why people trust the mutual fund industry is because of you. I would like to also again thank regulator SEBI and Mr. Manoj Kumar, I think which has played a very, very proactive role in developing the industry. And many times when we say new rules come, we look and we say the first reaction is, why this? Why is it required? Today morning, Mr. Manoj Kumar, when I walked into this room, my first reaction was, SEBI has again issued another circular yesterday. But I think when I look back, and I think to give credit to the regulator, when we look back, every change in regulation has helped the industry grow. And I want you to go back, and this is something which I mentioned, I think, a few days back at the FIFA event also. Exactly 10 years back, I think when at that point of time, I had also finished my first term as an AMFI chair, SEBI had come up with a lot of rules. The entry load had gone, trailer, a lot of things happened. Every time we felt this was something which can impact the industry, but the reality is industry has kept growing and growing. So all of us, I think, have to, whatever we do, and this will be a message and advice to all of you, whatever we do, I think we should keep the investor in the center. And if we think from the investor point of view, there is everybody, whether this is the advisor, whether it's the AMCs or intermediaries, everybody will grow. I want to also, when I look back, at how things have been doing, in smaller cities and towns, 90% of the population of India stays in smaller cities and towns. But the AUM coming from B30 is increasing, but still is very low. And I would also, today in the morning, I think, talking to some of our friends here, many times each one of you is playing such an important role in getting new investors to the mutual fund industry. But somehow, as an industry, we try to track everything basis AUM. And my request here to the regulator will be also, at some point of time, we should make it compulsory to also announce the number of investors, both by the AMCs and the advisors. Because if we have to go for a deeper penetration, it's very important. We need to appreciate smaller MFDs who are trying to get a lot of new investors into the mutual fund industry. We need to appreciate the efforts of all players who are trying to increase the penetration in India. And this will only happen once we start tracking. Right now, the only barometer to see success is AUM. So maybe at some point of time, I think it will be an urge to please see this, because it will help the industry and as a country penetrate more into smaller cities and towns. I would, again, before I, move towards the end, I would like to again say, last 10 years have been a golden era for the mutual fund industry, as I think was mentioned earlier. But the future is even better. The future is even better because of you. And the reason for that is very simple. At this point of time, we have 26 crore folios. We have 6 crores investors. I think we all are celebrating that. But if you were to look at, there are another 25 crore investors who were unlucky that they did not have an access to services from you, because of which they could not come to the mutual fund industry. And they are waiting for you. And I would request and urge each one of you to go to the smaller cities and towns and get more and more investors, because they need a helping hand, they need a guiding hand. And for that, the EI is the most important thing. And EI cannot come through technology, EI cannot come through mutual funds. Regulator will make rules, mutual fund industries will create products, but the trust will be generated by you. And I think I once again urge each one of you. Finally, as I end, many times I get confused, because when I'm invited as an AMFI chairman or as the CEO of my company, so I have to be cautious of what I have to say. But I think it's very interesting to see. I'll touch a little about, I'll come to Nippon for 2 minutes. I think we, being one of the largest retail AMCs in India, I think we are so happy to see. I think recently when we opened a branch in Leh, then we opened a branch in Kanyakumari. Many times we try to think the market is not there. We think the market is not there, but I think I was so happy to see the amount of IFAs, the MFDs. So they're interested in those markets. Some of them have not even cleared the NISM exam, but they want to take up this profession. So because what happens many times, the cluttered markets, the overcrowded markets, you'll see the challenges are different. When we went to Leh, the first challenge for us was, how do we have more MFDs? And I was so thrilled. The number of queries that came to us, the number of people who came to us that I want to take this as a profession, that tells the future of this industry. As I conclude my remarks, I would just like to say, thank you to each one of you. What you're doing is nation building. And 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, the industry and the nation will thank you for the financial inclusion that you have done. Thank you very much.